Not gonna lie, we're gonna discuss something in this episode. It's like my dirty little secret here. Wait for it. Wait for it. Wait for it. Are any of these the length of my actual hair? You guessed it. No. Let's get this podcast started. Welcome to our 1 year postpartum episode of Not Gonna Lie, a Wave original brought to you by CVS Health. I'm your host, Kylie Kelce. In a few days, I'll officially be 1 year postpartum, which also means our youngest, Finn, is celebrating her first birthday. That's fucked up. Generally, I'm okay with boogers. Not what I'm currently dealing with. And this week, no, I'm not saying that. I turned over a new leaf, and I think I'm going to curse less on the podcast. Can you believe it? Yep, that's right. I did get this lovely gift for no reason whatsoever, for a reason. It's, where is it? Happy first birthday. It's for Finney. Don't mind the 2 and the 4. That's silly. They're not. I really appreciate the gift though. And Queen Emma also brought this. Don't mind the candles. I may or may not have turned 24 yet. We're ignoring that. You're an asshole. You're such an asshole.
Happy birthday, Kylie. We love that you love your birthday.
No, fuck my birthday. This is an ultimate chocolate cake. If you haven't had it, you should have it. It is from Wegmans. This is the best chocolate cake on the market. You can't convince me otherwise, but thank you so much, Queen Emma, for that sweet gift for Finney's first birthday. Woo, woo, woo. Okay. No, I don't have birthday plans. No, I am not a birthday girly. No, I didn't do anything for my birthday. Now let's move on.
Happy birthday, girl.
No.
Love you.
Coming up on today's 1 year postpartum special, I'm going to get honest about this past year as a mom of 4, how I'm recovering a year after giving birth to Finn, plus we'll check in on the girls' relationships with their baby sister and what Finney has been up to recently. After that, I'm going to be joined by one of my favorite people ever. I talk about my love for my OBGYN team constantly. Emphasis on team. So it was about time I had one of the stars of the show on to talk about postpartum and what it's like dealing with me in labor. This is gonna be exposing. And more importantly, what Jason's like during labor and what other people are like during labor. HIPAA, but let's ask the hard-hitting questions, you know? But before we get to all of that, let's start with a quick NGL announcement. Reminder, real ones, this upcoming Tuesday, March 31st, you're getting the newest episode of FAFO. And like I said before, we have a big, small reveal coming. A cuddly, fuzzy, new Kelce. And you're just going to have to watch it on YouTube this Tuesday to find out more. I will say we shot this at the PSPCA Mainline Animal Rescue and met so many sweet animals. I cannot wait for the real ones to see it soon. And also for you to see some potentially adoptable animals. Get in there. All right, now let's get to our real one comment of the week. Just from a quick glance, it looks like Queen Emma got another burner account. Good God. So with the 60th episode coming up, are we going to get a cool 60? This absolutely was you. I don't need to prove it. The proof is in the pudding, and the pudding is this comment. You did this. Note from the desk of Queen Emma, wow, girl, 60 episodes. Congratulations. What a milestone. I don't know about you, but celebrating with a cool 60 for episode cool 60 sounds pretty classic to me. And we love that numerology. You're a jackass. Kay, let me know. Hope you like the balloons. Love you. Kay, thanks. Bye. And then she chanted, fan vote, fan vote, fan vote, fan vote. Who said that? That's what she typed. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that's what Queen Emma typed. I have seen comments of people saying that they enjoy a 45-minute episode. And by 45, I mean 48, because we have to fit in the ads. Because our Queen Meg is
6
she's
ads.
Doing her job.
Yeah. There's probably one of those comments. Maybe 2 of thousands.
Okay, we can put it to a fan vote. We can put it to a fan vote then.
We did it, guys. Fan vote. I can't wait. All right. Cool 60 it is.
She's catching me on a down week, but be cool, guys.
And the winner is a cool 60. Great job, everybody. We did it.
All right, now that that's been handled, let's get right into this 1 year postpartum edition of Can I Be Honest? And today I'm kicking things off by getting honest about an entire year of being a mom of 4, starting with an update on one of the biggest questions I had this time last year. How are my older girls adjusting to their new baby sister? Well, let me tell you. Ellie and Finney are best friends. Ellie actually told me, Bennie told me the other day, this is a big deal. Bennie told me the other day that her and Finney were going to be best friends. Now, it was a were going to be best friends. So it's future tense. And so from that, I think we're not quite there yet, but she has figured out how to make Finn laugh. And as with grown adults, it's the same with children. When they can make a baby laugh, they feel as though that is an accomplishment, as it is. And they've been doing an outstanding job doing that. Now, Wyatt likes to be in charge. Nothing new. So she likes to be given jobs like, hey, put Finney back in the gate when Finn escapes from the living room. Bennie only wants to really make her laugh or pretend that she's a baby doll. We're working on it. There's been a lot of things put on Finn's head. And by that, I mean headbands, ears, hats, dresses. And I said on her head. I didn't say on her body because Bennie thinks that she can dress Finn. And so she'll just put the dress over her head. And then Finn's sitting there with like a dress covering her face going, and yep. So it's going pretty good. I would say that Finn has an affinity for Ellie right now. But I say right now because it's ever shifting. I will say Finn is not speaking a lot. I'm not going to be that mom that's like, my kid says blah, 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 this many words. No. But I will tell you, one of the things that she likes to do is call for Ellie. And Ellie is sweet enough that Ellie will typically call back. So Ellie will stand in the other room and go, Finney. And Finn will sit in the other room and go, hey. And it's very cute. And she doesn't always do both syllables. And it doesn't always sound like Ellie, but she does try to yell back to Ellie, which is a very cute practice that I encourage a lot. So yeah. It's going well. They have accepted that she is a human being and not just a blob, which is great because now she is sort of toddling along a little bit and trying to get involved. It is very sweet to watch her, which we've seen this with every child, Ellie on, that they just want to be involved. And so to see them sort of crawl into the mix is just very heartwarming. And then when their older sisters actually try to involve them, it is so sweet. Now, that would be like the Instagram version, okay? When she crawls in and she tries to get involved, and then their sisters hand her a Barbie or a toy and try to let her get involved. The real life version, which is, I would say the majority of the time, is when Finn tries to crawl in and get involved, and then she gets yelled at and they try to like edge her out and push her back so that she can't touch the perfectly framed house that they have put together and strategically place the characters that are playing. So just let's manage expectations here. I'm not saying that my kids play nicely all the time. The biggest difference from going from 3 kids to 4 kids, there was a while when we were choosing to try for what is now Finn, where I kept thinking that I had forgotten a child, like that one was missing. I think it had a lot to do with the age that Bennie was and the progression, because it just felt like I didn't have a baby with me anymore. Either way, it feels very comfy and whole. It feels very balanced. I love even numbers. I've said that on the show before. Something I often get asked about is age gaps. At this point, after having Wyatt, I was already pregnant with Ellie. That's bananas to me. The idea, I still can't fathom that I got pregnant less than a year postpartum. That is crazy bananas. When people tell me that they've gotten pregnant, really, I would say within the first year postpartum, I just want to wrap them up in a little burrito and just rock them. I want to rock them, because as much as you are excited about it and it's amazing, whoa. Because getting a year out, I was just thinking this the other day, getting a year out feels more stable. And I don't know if it's just the hormone flush or your body going back or your organs being back where they're intended to be, or your joints feeling more stable, or maybe just like sleep is probably better by a year out. All of these things that come together to just make you feel like a year out has been my threshold of where I feel like if I start working out again seriously, that like I might feel strong again, or that I might feel like my body is stable. A 2-year age gap just feels reasonable because you've given your body time to adjust, but you're also not getting so far out that you feel like, why would I start over? Guys, I've told you before, if my last kid gets out of diapers, then the shop is closed, if you catch my drift. I will say, Finney is still just cuddly enough that I do not have an urge for baby right now. Let me just say that. I like to leave it open-ended because I don't want the universe to hear me or my uterus. Nobody's talking to you. But I do think 4 feels good. And that's it for Can I Be Honest? Moving on. Let's get to a segment that's back for another year by popular demand. This time with some updates, presenting the do's and don'ts of talking to postpartum women 1 year after giving birth. First up, gotta start with the good old-fashioned don't. Number 1, don't ask her if she's back to her pre-baby weight yet. Better yet, don't ask her about her weight at all, but I'm going to tell you right now. Pre-baby weight, Kylie? Pre-baby Kylie? Let me say that again. Pre-baby body of Kylie? I don't know her. She doesn't live here. My body built a whole ass human being, okay? And you're going to look at me and you're going to tell me that I'm supposed to get back to pre-baby weight? Okay, if I'm going to get back to pre-baby weight, then you tell my stomach to go back to looking the way it did when I was 24. No? Not going to happen? Well, then you've got your fucking answer. How about that? That's ridiculous. Number 2, do ask how she's feeling a year after giving birth. This is such a great question. Let's check in. Let's care about her thoughts and feelings. Let's ask her how her body's feeling, how she feels a year after birth, how she feels that she kept a tiny human alive for 1 whole year. Good job, Mom. Number 3, unless you are particularly close with Mom, don't ask when the next baby is going to be on the way. Oh, I'm so serious. And I'll speak for myself here. Don't you dare ask if we're going to give it one more try for a boy. I swear to God. I swear to God. Don't ask me. Also, Let's just put this into perspective. If you look at me and you say, number one, are you going to have another one? Or number two, are you going to try for a boy? You are looking at a woman who has had 4 children in, what was it, 6 years? How are you going to look at a woman who has had 4 children and be like, are you going to have another one soon? Are you going to try for a boy? So suck my ass. How about that for ASMR? Suck my ass. Number 4, don't ask mothers of 1-year-olds if they're worried about their baby not reaching certain milestones. Ladies, if you are still losing sleep or letting milestones of children rule your thoughts, I'm going to need you to cut that out immediately. I need you to cut it out now, because I'm going to tell you right now, 4 children later, the one thing I can tell you that I've learned, that I've told you a million times, they're all different. I'm telling you that within a group of kids whose gene pool is the same. It's the same gene pool and all their shit's been different. Okay. So how are we going to compare our kids to the neighbor's kids or your nieces and nephews or your friends' kids? That is some bullshit. Also, if you look at the thresholds, the range at which these children are supposed to be hitting these milestones, why is it so wide? What? That's right, because every kid is different. We got there together. So please don't do that. And also, make sure that we're not putting pressure on anyone else, okay? Sometimes we can say what we want to say. We can be proud of our kids. Wyatt was an early talker. She was. She wanted to chit chat. Ellie, that child didn't utter words. I mean, she said a couple words here and there. She did not speak to us until she was probably 18 months old. Okay? Like, speak to us. Like, really be like, oh, this can help me. Okay? She had words, but she didn't, you know what I'm saying? They're in the same house. They have the same parents that raised them the same way. Very close together, mind you. They were 17 months apart. Okay? Guys, cut it out. Don't let those comparisons steal the joy of the amazing things that you are watching your kids do. And in that same breath, if your kids are having delays and or are not meeting the thresholds, that's okay too. Okay? Because there are things in place to help you support them, and sometimes they're just not fucking ready. Leave them alone. That's it for do's and don'ts of talking to postpartum women, 1 year later edition. And now, a segment that's fun to say as it is to do. You know what's fucked up? And in honor of this special episode, you know what's fucked up? People still believe that postpartum only applies to the first 6 weeks after giving birth. That's crazy. I literally just said it takes me until I am typically a year out of giving birth to feel like I am more myself. This is fucked up because if you read studies about when you're healed, like truly healed, it isn't even close to 6 weeks. You go in for a post-birth checkup 6 weeks after giving birth. That's typically when you go in for your postpartum appointment. That appointment is there to make sure that you don't have any postpartum immediate complications. 6 weeks is not when you're done being postpartum. That's not how that works. At all. Not even close. Don't do that. I've already banned the phrase in a past episode, bounce back. We're not bouncing back in 6 weeks, okay? You're not even cleared for strenuous activity until 6 to 8 weeks. That's like lifting large things. Guys, you're not even allowed to have sex for 6 to 8 weeks, okay? This is not like she's not ready because she's not healed. And I'm going to tell you right now, for anyone who has experienced sex postpartum, are we doing this? We're doing this. I'm talking about it. For anyone who has experienced sex postpartum, specifically, I can only speak to after a vaginal birth. There might be, and now I've had varying experiences, different for every kid. It's not all fun and games, guys. It's not all fun and games the first couple of times if you catch my drift. We can't be out here like, no, that was great. What? A human just exited that door. That's it for You Know What's Fucked Up. I'll be right back after these messages from myself. Postpartum anxiety can sometimes creep in for women after having a baby. Luckily, the CVS Health app is a single place to handle all of your healthcare needs. The CVS Health app provides access to free 20-minute exercises and free meditations that can help postpartum mothers find time for themselves and their health. Also, when you're out of diapers and don't want to have to pack up your newborn and get in the car, Extra Care Plus offers unlimited free same-day delivery. It's there for you when you need items for yourself, pain medication, pads, adult diapers, and for your newborn, diapers, but the baby kind, formula, pacifiers. Plus, you can take advantage of caregiver services in the app by accessing pharmacy and health records for your children and managing their care. You can even schedule virtual or in-person minute clinic appointments, and do not worry, their behavioral health providers have completed postpartum mental health training and are available before, during, and after pregnancy. Go to cvs.com/app to learn more and download the app today. On this podcast, you know there isn't much I'm afraid to talk about. So let's talk about one of the most universal postpartum truths, poop. The first one, terrifying. A fear I cannot even begin to explain. The first postpartum poop is, wow, scary. And if you're a type C mom, I'm going to assume that remembering to take stool softeners or supplements isn't high on the list of priorities during this particularly stressful time, especially with the lack of sleep. If I have to remember to take it, it very well might not happen, but Olipop, I remember that because I actually want it. Olipop is delicious, refreshing, and has 6 to 9 grams of prebiotic fiber to support your gut and help keep things moving. It's not a health drink you should have. It's a soda you want to have because it's delicious and it comes in 18 different flavors. You can get a free can of Olipop when you buy any 2 cans of Olipop in store, and they'll pay you back for 1. Shop at Walmart, Wawa, Whole Foods, and thousands of other retailers near you. Sign up at drinkolipop.com/NGL. And we're back. And so is Doom Scroll the Week Postpartum Edition. First up on this postpartum themed Doom Scroll, I've mentioned mom showers before on the show, and as a mom of 4, this is basically just a glimpse at my everyday life. The clip, please, Queen Emma, says, point of view, trying to take a shower as a mom. The mom is in the shower, and there is a tiny baby face with a pacifier peeking around the corner of the curtain. Let me tell you about this. Queen Emma wants to know how many times a week does this happen. Anytime I get in the shower. Literally, anytime I am not in their view, they want to know where I am. Let me explain. I go in the shower. We have a glass door on the shower. I will go in the shower. Kids will come up. I can hear them run into our bedroom because they sound like a herd of elephants. One child will sound like a whole herd of elephants. They run into the room. They come into the bathroom, and typically they go, Mom. And I say, yes. And they go, Mom. And they say, yes. And I say, Mom. And I say, yes. And they say, what are you doing? Well, I think I'm showering. And then they proceed to try and wipe the glass on the outside. And then they yell at me when they realize they can't wipe off the condensation and that I have to wipe off the condensation in the inside. And so then it turns into, Mom, I can't see you. Mom, I can't see you, as if I want them to see me. Last scroll, it's good to know I'm in good company with my ridiculous postpartum baby hairs situation. Let's see this clip, please, Queen Emma. Oh, it says them. Oh, you're a year postpartum? Me. How did you know? She has, let's call it 3-inch hairs on either side of her head sticking straight out, as if she has a handlebar mustache, but it goes out from both sides of her ears. And I say that in a loving way, okay? And I got a shout out to @TillyToDo's caption. It says, love my horns. See, here's, I always try to look at the positive here, okay? And that positive is that she can tuck those behind her ears. They've gotten long enough. The couple of baby hairs that I have, I really did get them today. I got them today. Fuck you guys. I got them. I'm talking to my hairs, by the way. It's this spot here, mostly this side, my right side, and sometimes this spot here, but always dead center top, okay? I don't know what happens. I will touch them this way and you will see. The quickest tip I have for you, chapstick. That's it. That's the whole sentence. Chapstick is the tip. You got to put some chapstick on the baby hairs because it will weigh them down. And then if you look at other episodes of this podcast over the last, let's call it 6 months, you might decide not to take my advice about baby hairs because, well, you have eyes. Okay. All right. That does it for Doom Scroll of the Week. Next up, I've been excited to share this one with the real ones. I've literally been talking about this idea for months. I have a go-to postpartum gift for new mothers in my life. I feel strongly about making sure that people around me get the things that I found to be super important, either that I purchased for myself for my postpartum recovery or that other people purchase for me that in the middle of the night or on a random day, I thought to myself, oh, you know what? I think I got that for my baby shower. And so I would like you guys to consider that these are things that I found helpful in my postpartum experience. Presenting my personal postpartum gift guide, and I'm going to go through these rapid fire style, okay? Number 1, Tuck's Witch Hazel pads, and an alternative for that is Witch Hazel spray. That's going on your lady bits, okay? It's as simple as that. It's going on your lady bits postpartum. Don't worry. Your angel of a postpartum nurse will tell you exactly what to do. Okay. Number 2, Dermaplast. Every single time, hear me out. Every single time, pee or 2, 1 or 2. Okay. Spray that before you go to the bathroom. Don't go to the bathroom without spraying the Dermaplast. Icicle pads also numb that shit up. Okay. You pop the pad, you shake it, you put it right down there. Then you're going to lay your little Tuck's pads. Next, number 4, adult diapers. Let's be clear. Nobody really wants to go to the store and buy adult diapers. It seems it's an experience. Here's the deal. Take that off their plate. The sizing is easy enough. You can guess it. I know you can. Adult diapers, I loved postpartum because I had significantly less leaks with bleeding. This is so many people have left at this point that I feel like we're just off the rails, and I'm saying it because that's what we do around here. You have less leaks, more coverage. They're honestly really comfortable. Number 5, Dulcolax, because they're going to tell you need it when you leave the hospital, and they're dead serious. You need a stool softener, okay? I said what I said. One of the scariest things you're going to do, your first poop after giving birth, okay? It's just, if you don't believe me, that's fine. I'm happy for you. Dulcolax, because you're going to have to stop at CVS or send someone to CVS to pick it up for you. If you don't already have it, now you're going to have it. Number 6, a 5-pack of onesies or a multi-pack, any multi-pack of onesies. And this is very specific. You want to get the cheapest ones, and you want to get probably 0 to 3 months. Okay. And what you're going to tell that mom is how cheap those onesies were. And you're going to emphasize that if that baby has a blowout, that they are to throw it in the trash. And right in that same camp, number 7, puppy pads. You want to know why? Because if it's really bad, you put a puppy pad down, okay? You change their butt, you roll up the puppy pad with all the mess inside, throw it in the trash. You know what it got on? Nothing, because the puppy pad had your back. Number 8, baby Tylenol, because it's something that months after I had given birth, I thought to myself, I need to give this baby Tylenol, and I found it in the drawer because I had not personally purchased Tylenol because it didn't even cross my mind that I would need it in a pinch. And then I was in a pinch and it was there. Same thing, gas drops. Are they a hoax? I'm unsure. Does it make you feel better about giving it to the baby when you're really going through it? Probably. Number 10, a baby thermometer. Because again, you need it when you're in a pinch. And sometimes you're in a pinch at 2 a.m. Baby thermometer. Number 11, baby nail trimmer. Okay? If you want to do the little Dremel one, some people feel better about that. If you want to do the little trimmer, some people feel good about that. Whatever you feel in your soul, get that one. But mom doesn't want to look like she came across Wolverine. Okay? So get a baby nail trimmer. Number 12, snacks. I feel like that one's pretty straightforward. Number 13, an adult beverage if they enjoy that. And if they don't enjoy that, get them whatever non-adult beverage they enjoy so that it can be crispy and delicious and they can have it whenever they want. Number 14, butt paste. I prefer Desitin because I like to spackle their asses, okay? Just thick as can go on. That's what I'm bringing in. That one, you think it's for a baby. It's not. Because if you can avoid a diaper rash, your life is going to be easier. Number 15, nipple cream. Pretty straightforward. If they are choosing to have a breastfeeding journey, it might be soothing. Number 16, and this one I'm very serious about, pacifiers, but as many different kinds as you can find. You want to find I'm talking 5 different options. And number 17, hand sanitizer for mom for in the middle of the night when you change the diaper and it's dark and you're not 100% sure what got on your hands, just hand sanitizer. And hand soap. That, you guessed it, is for the guests who want to visit your baby. Because the first thing they're going to do when they walk through your door is wash your hands. Wash your hands. And that's it for my postpartum gift guide. Let us know what your go-to gifts are for the moms in your life and what I should be adding to this list by tagging us at NGL with Kylie. I'll be right back with my OB, Dr. Devine. It's the end of March, and you know what that means? The procrastination has almost reached its limit. And it's now time to finally get your taxes over with. Luckily, the easiest way to do it is with Tax Act. I can't remember to do a single thing. I tell everybody I push my brain out when I pushed out my kids. Tax Act makes filing easy with step-by-step guidance, and Tax Act gives you tax tips throughout the filing process to help you along the way. It even offers 3 different filing options: do-it-yourself, expert assist, and expert full service. With Expert Assist, you can talk to a credentialed tax expert located right here in the US, so you're never truly alone filing your taxes. Plus, the maximum refund is guaranteed. You won't find a bigger refund with any other tax filing software. Tax Act helps you find the deductions and credits that you deserve. Tax Act is a solution that makes it simple and easy to tackle even the most complicated taxes. Tax Act The simplest, easiest way to get your taxes done. Visit taxact.com today. After some hectic days with our 4 kids and illness that you're worried may transfer from one kid to the next, and work on top of that, sometimes all you need is a nice 30 minutes to take a moment for yourself. One way I use that very small window of time to myself these days is with a nice workout on the Peloton app. Peloton can help you continue to start your year off right with their new cross-training Tread Plus powered by Peloton IQ. It's cross-training reimagined with features designed to help you reach your goals effortlessly. Peloton's most elevated equipment comes with real-time guidance and endless ways to move, alone or with your favorite instructors. I got Robin, I got Allie Love, I got Alex Toussaint. I have not found a class that I didn't enjoy with any of the other instructors, but I'm going to lean towards those 3 almost every single time. Peloton IQ creates a personal workout roadmap with weekly recommended classes that match your mood, vibe, and personality. Let yourself run, lift, sculpt, push, and go. Explore the new Peloton cross-training Tread Plus at onepeloton.com. The real ones know my oldest relationship going all the way back to high school is with the original real one, my Lash Blast Volume Mascara from CoverGirl. Oh, what's that? You wanted 2 of them? Sure. Why not? What made me first start to use it? My sister used it, so I stole hers in true little sister fashion. Get that ultimate big lash look with CoverGirl Lash Blast Volume Mascara, designed to max out every single lash. The volume boosting formula adds thickness and plumpness to your lashes for up to 10 times more volume versus bare lashes that lasts all day and throughout our entire podcast recording. The iconic spin-shaped brush catches and coats even the tiniest lashes for instant clump and smudge resistant volume. It's available in 4 different shades, so you can choose how bold you want to go. Very black, black, black brown, and brown. Plus, it's available in 3 waterproof shades. I use Very Black in the non-waterproof. Lash Blast Volume Mascara only from Easy Breezy Beautiful CoverGirl. Shop online or at your nearest retailer. She's been with me through all of it, aka all 4 of my labors with my children. She's an OBGYN with Axia Women's Health, the McConnell Division. Dr. Joan Devine, welcome to Not Gonna Lie.
Hello, everyone. Hi, Kylie.
Now, we've known each other for a very long time, and I'm basically a regular in labor and delivery at this point. I feel like if I had a punch card, I'd be getting the next one for free.
For sure.
But I have been a patient of the practice since before I got pregnant the first time. I always express, especially on the podcast, how much love I have for not only the team of OBs that we have at the office, but also the labor and delivery nurses, the recovery and care that we receive as patients. There have been times where I've called and I just wanted to talk to Diane, the nurse in the office. I'll be like, is Diane in today? Could she call me back? It is such a personal experience, not only your pregnancy, but the process of trying to get pregnant, your health, overall health and well-being as a woman, that it's so personal. And so to have a team of doctors and an office staff as a whole that you feel comfortable calling, going to, asking for help, asking their opinion, calling even when it's something where you're like, I think I'm wasting their time, but I know that they will tell me that I'm not.
Right.
That is something I have found super, super valuable in my relationship with everyone there on the team. Now, what makes for an awesome OB, and particularly an awesome OB in pregnancy?
Right. I mean, you want someone who really likes and is passionate about women's health and pregnancy and delivery. And, what helps is, you'll know that, hey, are there other people there going, are they someone who lights up when they talk about, hey, this is what the next steps are going to be. This is what the pregnancy is going to be like, giving that anticipatory guidance, just, hey, you're going to be okay. And you should feel like your doctor is interested and, not just going through the motions.
I will say, whenever I have talked people into coming to the McConnell Division of Axia Women's Health, I've always told them that every single time a doctor, not only you, but Dr. Dempsey, Colleen, Brooke, Dr. High, anyone who comes in, they always sat down. And so that to me was the sign of like, you have my time. And so that in terms of like experiencing that as a pregnant woman who is like, okay, what have I thought about for the last month that I'm like, that I need to unload right here so that I can make sure I get all of my answers to my questions. And for anyone who has experienced pregnancy in particular, you know that you get some funky symptoms. So to walk in and to have someone sit down and be like, how is it going? And for you to be able to be like, I'm so glad you asked. Let me tell you about what happened last week.
Right.
With this weird thing on my leg, you know, at no time have I ever felt like anyone has ever looked at me and said, like, that's so weird, or that's strange, or given you sort of like that judgmental moment. It's always like, you know what? That happens.
Right. You know,
and to not feel alone feels great.
Right. Right. Yeah. You never want to feel dismissed. And one of my mentors who started the practice, Patty McConnell, I remember she said, no matter how busy you are, Joan, sit down. You only have 5 minutes, but if you sit down, your patient's going to feel heard.
Now, as you know, this is our 1 year postpartum special.
Yes.
So I have to ask, when you saw me do the podcast 48 hours after giving birth, were you surprised?
You know, not really. You know, I'm just like, of course she's doing that. Mm-hmm. Looking great. And you had Finn with, you know, it was your fourth. And so I find moms who have more than one, you know, each one, it gets a little bit like, hey, this kid just has to come along.
Yep. Now, as a doctor, do you not recommend doing that?
I would say, please
Perfect.
Do not pressure yourself in doing anything but taking care of that baby and yourself.
Now, I also thought we could just go straight to the source about what I'm really like in labor. And by that, I mean, Queen Emma wants to know the hard-hitting facts here. How would you describe me as a laborer?
You know, you are no nonsense and you have a plan. There's no sugarcoating necessary. This is the plan. We're going to have a healthy baby and a healthy mom. And really that's it.
Yeah. I've told everyone, I tell everyone that, I mean, even when they don't ask, I'm like, my plan is to get in there, is to get induced, is to get an epidural, then get this baby out.
Right. And you get down to business. Yep.
That's it. What do you remember? Do you remember anything in particular about any of our birth experiences together?
You know, yes, I do. I mean, I remember, you know, Jason just kind of being relaxed on the couch. But when it's time to push, he was really a great supporter for you, of both coaching you and physically helping you push that baby out.
Seriously. Mm-hmm. That's one of the things that I've talked about that I think people are thinking, and I think even I think we talked about it on the other podcast. I think he thinks I'm kind of blowing smoke up his ass. Like I'm trying to give him credit. Right. But I've explained to him, like when he gets up behind me and helps me crunch forward, I'm like, then I feel like I'm locked in. Yeah. My core muscles, they're a mile apart at that point. Mm-hmm. They're not doing too much. And so when he helps me get forward, I'm like, yeah, I can do this. This baby is coming out.
Right. Yeah.
It's great.
Right. And, you know, for you, I think I could tell you're uncomfortable at times, but you're, you know, your normal self. Of course, you're not going to be cheery, happy the whole time.
No.
But
nope.
No.
Especially when I feel nauseous. Mm-hmm. I'm like, no.
Yeah.
But you guys fix that really fast. So it's really nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, is there maybe anything funny that's happened during labor? I will say, I do think you were there for the, I have to clear myself up here. Wyatt, you were there for. Yeah. Ellie, you were in an emergency C-section. Yeah. So Dr. High, Brooke, received her, which was very funny because I've never seen someone shift their tone so quickly. She was like, let's do a test push.
Mm-hmm.
And then I did a test push and she was like, hey, let's not do that again. And all of a sudden her hair was up. She had a gown on. I was like,
whoa,
is it go time? And then Bennie, you were there. Yes. And I think Finn, you were also there with Colleen. Is that right?
Yeah. And Finn has the same birthday as my son, my oldest.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I will say you were there for when we were mid push. And I said, well, what's her middle name? And Jason's, we were debating whether or not he could go down and look.
Yes.
And you said, do you want to come down? And I said, you're not allowed down there. And he said, I think I'm going to go down there. And I said, you can go down there if you tell me what her middle name is.
Yeah.
And that's when he picked Elizabeth for Wyatt. And that was one of those moments where I was like, do other people typically have this conversation in the middle of pushing?
Right. Yeah. Husbands or partners, say all sorts of funny stuff in those moments. And so, yeah, some people do want to go look. Some people are like totally hands off.
The real ones and fans of the other podcasts love the clips that I've shared of Jason in the delivery room over the years, most notably the one with his fan.
Yes.
And as an expert on the matter, how high on the list of important items to pack is a fan, would you say?
Right. I think a fan for the patient, a lot of people bring the little fan, clip it on the bed. Sure, but a fan for the spouse of that size, I don't usually see.
He felt very strongly about that fan.
Yeah.
He loves that fan. It was his training camp fan. It was like I think it was like his security blanket fan. Really.
Yeah.
Now, what's the strangest thing that you've seen come in to the delivery room?
I think it might not. Some people bring in a lot of candles, battery operated candles, to set the mood.
Really?
And I think that's not strange, but I'm just like, oh, wow, we thought of that. It's, and then I enjoy playlists. So they're so interesting and can be so different. But, that I feel like that's adorable, right? They're so thought into there, and I get to see what kind of music they like and that kind of thing.
Is that common?
It's fair.
The playlist?
Fairly common. With the first baby.
Are they with the first? Yeah. Are they bringing a speaker?
Sometimes, yeah.
Okay. Is there a sound limit that is placed on
it? Not really.
Have you ever had to tell anybody to turn it down?
I have.
Have you?
Yes. Yeah.
I can only imagine that, if you're really trying to lock in, you might not notice how loud your music is.
Right. You're just in it. And if that's what they need, that's great. But there have been times where we're like, we need to turn that down.
I don't have the organization to think to put a playlist together ahead of time.
Right.
And it's funny you say your first child, the first child they typically do it for, because every birth after Wyatt, I have taken the opportunity to watch adult shows, not get argued with about what I'm watching on my phone.
Right.
Jason and I will usually start a new series in recovery. I think this last time we watched the Great British Bake Off. For a full season worth, because it's really a nice little getaway.
You're some peaceful time.
Very much so. Now, we oddly made headlines 3 years ago with my Super Bowl birth plan, which involved me bringing both you and Kylie and Dr. Dempsey to Arizona for the game just in case. Yeah. Now, luckily, we didn't have it was smooth sailing. Yes. She stayed in. Bennie was cooperative, potentially the only time in her life that she's been cooperative, but she stayed in. What was your honest reaction when we first talked about this? Because I remember talking about this when I was maybe 6 months along. We talked about it fairly early and very vaguely,
right? Because
we didn't want to jinx it.
Right. And I remember thinking, I I didn't want to jinx it, right? I didn't want to put too
Yes.
much thought into it. So I kind of put it out of my mind.
Yep.
But
and then
yeah,
we circled back. We circled back when necessary.
right. Mm-hmm.
How did you feel when we officially had a plan of you coming, not only as like a doctor and focused on that, but also as an Eagles fan?
Yeah. That Sunday night when they won the game, I looked at my husband on the couch and I was like, I don't know. And then, of course, I saw you the next day for a visit. And that's when it all started. It was a whirlwind and it felt exciting, of course. And I had one night that I was a sleepless night where I started to think about, okay, what if something happens on the plane? It's the plane ride where
That
I was,
it.
That's what we were there for, those
Yes.
to and from plane rides. And so I couldn't sleep one night and walked through every scenario and thought about exactly everything I could pack to be prepared. And I think once I got through that night, I was like, just super excited to get to experience this as an Eagles fan, be there for you.
We actually went so far as to connect with a doctor in Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
We said, obviously, we know that you guys cannot practice out there,
Mm-hmm.
but that you guys would then become my support people and be able to advocate for me on my behalf if we were to be in a labor and delivery situation
Mm-hmm.
in Arizona, because obviously Jason would be tied up.
Right.
So that was our plan on the ground.
Right.
But yes, very much our discussion beforehand was, if I have to give birth on this plane full of Eagles family, how do we make it the least intrusive?
Right. Traumatic, maybe.
Yes, that's the word.
For everyone.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, was this the craziest lengths that you've gone to for a birth plan?
Yes.
Or a potential birth plan?
100%. Yes.
I'm so glad we could.
I know. We get to do that together. Yeah.
Yes.
And, I did talk to that physician in Arizona, and I remember him saying, where he was going to be during the whole weekend. And, then he said at the end, nothing bad can happen here. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, that's why I'm here.
Right.
Now, I talked about this a little earlier in the episode, but I would love you to weigh in with your expertise. First of all, it's a common misconception that the postpartum period is 6 weeks and then it's over.
Mm-hmm.
Why is that wrong?
Right. Because it lasts longer, right? It's just like we have one postpartum visit. It's not enough, right? Women need support much longer, but really the postpartum time frame, depending on what you're reading, it's really 3 months, right? Like those 12 weeks, and anything in that first year after having the baby, we consider it can be related to the postpartum experience.
Now, what are some other common misconceptions about postpartum that you'd like to set the record straight on?
I think that women need to know you're not going to be doing it all. And it's okay to ask for help. It's okay to accept help. It's also okay that you're not going to feel great. You're adjusting to being tired, a fatigue you've never known at most of the time. And, things that you used to do, like exercise, intimacy with your partner, these things aren't going to feel great for a while. And that's okay.
What are some of the most common questions you get from women throughout their postpartum journey?
Sure. Real common ones are, if their bleeding hasn't stopped, is this normal? A lot of women want to talk about when they can think about the next pregnancy, and timing of that.
What is the recommended? I'm not asking for myself, you know that. We've already had this conversation. Right. What is the recommended distance between pregnancies?
Sure. With a normal birth, right, not a C-section, someone could start to think about it when their baby is 6 months. So 6 months to a year. With the C-section, you really want to have at least 18 months between the two deliveries.
That's an important difference because that's a wide gap.
Right.
Now, how much should women care about the age 35 when it comes to pregnancy? Because there's been a lot of talk about the term geriatric pregnancies and that sort of 35 threshold. What do you have to say about that?
Right. And I think we're seeing so many more women have children in that age range, like 35 to 42. And so we are less, nervous about it because we see it more commonly. And so there are some risks, like some increased risk of things like high blood pressure in pregnancy or diabetes in pregnancy. And so they may have some more visits, some more ultrasounds. But we feel confident typically in that age group. And I don't really tend to tell my patients to worry too much about that.
I cannot thank you enough. It is an absolute pleasure to get to see you on a random day, but also to have you on the podcast. I will forever sing your praises until the end of time. Dr. Devine was, I'm not going to cry. Maybe I will. Who knows? Dr. Devine was the doctor that helped me through my miscarriage. Oh, hold on. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to believe in myself. And I truly don't think that I would have had the courage to try again so quickly had you not handled that with such care. And I'm sure that as an OB, it is something that you have to help women deal with on a very regular basis, more often than I think any of us would like to have happen. But that experience and the way that you handled that and the way you helped me through that was something that like has helped me go on to then have 4 kids. Because you made it clear that it was nothing that I did. You were gentle in the way that you delivered the news, obviously. The way that you very rationally, because you knew how I was as a patient, laid out the options and said, you don't have to decide right this minute, gave me all the information I needed, and then helped me by basically saying, like, you can walk right out of the office. You don't stop at the desk. You just keep going. And like Jason wasn't there. And so you were, oh no, you were my support person. And so till the end of time, I will have like the deepest love for you.
It's so hard. Those moments are difficult for us. We feel it for each patient. And you're right. He wasn't there with you, and that was hard. And we see that, and I think you're right. It's so difficult, and I'm glad I could be there for you on that day.
I hope everyone finds their soul OB the way I have found my soul OBs. They're my soul OBs because they're mine and I love them. But I truly like that experience could have been so much more traumatic. And I still remember not crying in the office and you looking at me like, you can cry now. And I don't know that I did until I got outside, but the way that you handled that situation was something that made it, as if I didn't already know, even more clear that I was in the right hands to go through the process of building our family. And going from that experience to going through 4 birth plans with you has been like just affirming all the way through. And it makes me feel for women who don't have this incredible of a support system in their journey. But I am very, very, very grateful for you and the rest of the team. And like I said before, I'm going to say it till the end of time how much I love my OBs. And Dr. Joan Devine is top tier. And I'm going to keep coming to visit you even if I don't have any more kids.
Oh, Kylie, thank you so much. You know, it's been such an honor to be, you know, here for you. And I mean, never could I imagine some of the fun things we've been through.
Right? It's silly.
It is. Yeah.
Let's do more.
Sure. Sounds
Not
good.
necessarily kids, but like we'll do more.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
And that's a wrap on our 1 year postpartum special edition of Not Gonna Lie. You can find even more clips from our longer episode taping on my YouTube channel on More Shit Monday. Reminder, FAFO comes out this upcoming Tuesday, March 31st. I'll be back with a brand new episode on Thursday. Follow us on social media at NGL with Kylie for more clips throughout the week. Listen and subscribe wherever you get your podcast. Not Gonna Lie is a Wave original brought to you by CVS Health. Thanks again to the real ones for tuning in.